Start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Approval of the minutes. Anybody have
There we go. It's on now.
approval of the minutes? Any questions? Can I get a motion?
I'll do it. I move the Board of Education approve the minutes from the November 19th, 2025 regular meeting as presented.
Second. Roll call?
Aye.
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 Thank you. Martine, financial reports?
Thank you. The current cash and investment balance as of November 30th, 2025 is $35,017,293.70. Our revenue for November was $1,567,900.71. This includes property tax revenue, evidence-based funding, Title I, Title II, Title III, federal funds, IDEA, and transportation reimbursements from the state. Having gone through about 42% of the fiscal year to this point, we have received about 38 and 21% of our expected revenues for the 25-26 school years. Our expenditures for November were $1,886,056.71. This includes employee salaries and benefits, retirement system payments, construction expenses for the kitchen work that will be happening this summer, and tuition for outplaced students. Tonight, I am asking the board to approve the revised bills for November for payments in $1,720,108.01 for payroll liabilities, and to approve December bills for payments in the amount of $4,892,244.67, which includes our debt payment for the year. In the activity fund, the beginning balance in the activity fund for the month of November was $99,044.58, with revenues totaling $7,144.68, and expenditures totaling $247.94. The ending balance for the activity fund at the end of November was $105,941.31.
Any questions for Martine? All right, no question. Need a motion? I can do it. I move the Board of Education approve the financial reports for November in addition to the revised November and regular December bills for payment as presented.
Second.
Roll call?
Aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
All right, public participation. Anybody? So if you can, you'll give us your name, address, any group that you might be affiliated with, and the time is 3, right? 3 minutes.
Yes, 3 minutes.
Good evening. Tess, good evening. My name is Renitris Pierre, and I live in Waukegan, but I have substituted in many different districts throughout Chicagoland, Lake County. I've been doing this since 2010, and I will admit it's with much apprehension that I came today, but I feel like this cause is more important than even my professional future in the district. I hope I'm not retaliated against, but I have to give you all this notice. There's been a trend, we all know, with the quote 6-7, and I didn't know the origin when I first heard it, but being that I am a teacher of sorts, and also just I'm a veteran as well, military veteran, and I'm also just a knowledge seeker. I did the due diligence, and the origin of the song or the origin of 6-7 is from the lyrics by Skrilla, Doot Doot, which is onomatopoeia for gunshots. So recently at a school, there were students saying it, and I advised them correctly. I said, this is a metaphor for murder. And I told them this because I was concerned, because I also informed them just because something is trendy doesn't mean it's acceptable, and it doesn't make it correct. And I also told them how kids in the past ate Tide Pods because it was popular on Vine at the time. I said, if you see something that's trendy, you have to learn how to ask questions. But I thought I was doing them a service. Apparently not. Because I was told by a teacher who yelled at me in the hallway about saying I shouldn't have told fourth graders that 6, 7, the origins were about murder. And I was told letters were sent home about me, which I was absolutely shocked about. And I inquired. I was told that was incorrect. But I said to the faculty that I spoke with, I said, can I leave the lyrics for you? And I left it for the teacher, thinking I was doing something right. My jobs were canceled that I had at this school. The next couple jobs I had. From my understanding, that's retaliation. But it's neither here nor there. But I'd like you to hear this. This is where 6, 7 comes from. So many dead ops. So many ashes. Brrr. You can't catch that. I can't pass this. Come here. Shooter, stay strapped. I don't need mine. Bro, put the belt right to they behind. The way to switch. Brrr. I know he dying. 6, 7. This school dedicated an entire day to this. You should be shocked. Mind you, this is the same school where I was in the classroom where a student literally made a veiled threat to me and other students. We were talking about what you're good at, right? Hobbies, whatever. This student decided to say, I'm good at firearms. And so, being that I've been in situations like this in the past, I said, why would you say that in school? Because I've had it kind of come up in other schools. People say, oh, well, he goes hunting with his dad. His dad's a veteran, whatever, like a World War II veteran, or I get it. Some kids have positive exposures to that. But he couldn't answer that. And I advised him, I said, you should never say that again in the classroom. That's not advisable. That same student made threats within 2 weeks' time about actually committing murder, or should we say 6, 7, to 2 other students. And when I found out, my life flashed before my eyes. It really did, because I had to wonder if he had something with him that day or not. So if we really care about education and kids, I would advise the board and the principals, please do your due diligence with Gurnee Police at least. ChatGPT is popular now. You could do some research, because a whole day was dedicated to this phrase, which again is about murder. And we have students in this class, in this school, that can't even skip count by 2 and 5. Okay? They're going to be going to middle school soon. I end my turn. I also have the lyrics for you if you want.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much. Anybody else? All right, report of the superintendent.
Okay, we're going to move on to district highlights, and I'm going to turn it over to the principals for school updates. So can you move to the recognition of the preschool program? I believe Rachel and Miriam can speak to that.
So our Preschool for All program was given the Gold Circle of Quality, which is a very, very high standard in the world of preschool programs, that we adhered to all of the components, and there are very, very specific components that must be held. An example is a wood chip must be so much long in length in order for preschool children in our program to be able to play outside. So it's that specific, and when they come out for the audit, they're looking for that. And so we we're able to look at this recognition for the entire school for both of our Preschool for All programs. So what you see here is the staff from our Preschool for All program, the teachers as well as their assistants. It does take a village because we've got speech paths and OTs and special ed teachers and EL teachers and teaching assistants and nurses all within this program, but everybody through their collaboration and their very, very specific planning, we were able to receive this recognition. And this is not an easy recognition to get. I believe we had this years ago, but it's nice that we'll be starting this recognition now and hopefully continue this as we move forward.
Congrats.
Yeah, that was great.
They're just
Up
the
next.
first page.
All right. Furry Trail, first up, we have lots of band things happening and continuing tomorrow. So on the top, we had our, come to Furry Trail to play their jazz ensemble for our 5th grade students. And they were great. They did, I think you can visit too, they were amazing. And on the bottom, we had our first 5th grade band concert, I think that was last week. Which they did amazing. They're learning their 8 notes, and they were celebrated for earning their white belts if they've gotten that far, and that's their goal before winter break. So they had a chance to be recognized. Then we have the hands-on learning. We are trying to make the connections to their real life as much as we possibly can. And on top, ancient times for our 3rd graders, a quilt from 1980. Ms. Stoneberg used while teaching, teaching arrays in math class for 3rd grade. So it was nice to see, and they can make that connection with her family, as well as in 5th grade, Ms. Delgado's class in science did an experiment where they got to use salt in water and see how the weight changes. So things that they encounter are things that will be handy as they go along. And with our phenomena, yes, 6'7" Lamar Ball, that was how tall he is according to the social media. So yes, that is one of our first phenomena. But we celebrated in various ways. And that snowman, I was in there for Arrival. That was also the week of the full moon, so that was a fun week. So we needed some joy in our lives. And then also the Northern Lights, very relevant for what we've been experiencing. And our 3rd graders got the chance to make chalk art in art class to have their Northern Lights in their display and bring some joy around the hallways.
Okay, we have, I need to look at this one. On the left-hand side, this week our team lead students led a mixed-up lunch where they go into all of the K-5 lunches and they have kids sit with different groups of students. They are given a number, and so we mix up their lunch tables, and the 8th graders lead discussions with the younger students. And it really just helps them to feel more confident talking to people outside of their normal friend group, and it gives our 8th graders another leadership opportunity. In the middle there, the 2 pictures in the middle are our 8th grade Spanish classes meeting with the 3rd grade bilingual class. They have been pen pals this year. So they write letters back and forth in Spanish so that the 3rd graders can practice their literacy. And
Got pulled out for special conversation that really, it didn't change anything. But it went very well. I went to a presentation on English second language learners, and one of the things, it was a Palos Heights School District that talked about what they're doing, and one of the things they talked about was kids that English language, the preschool, if you can get them in preschool by 3rd grade, they're called. I thought, wow, that's exciting thing to hear, because not related, but don't ask me why, but for some reason today, for a brief time, I watched the Warren board meeting, and 2 students came up and spoke. I think there's something with one of their teachers that English language might not be coming back, and the coolest part about it was, for whatever reason, they were more comfortable speaking in Spanish, and one of the board members was able to translate. And obviously there's just a value to have, that, and learn the language. I think the one kid in his statement said English is such a hard language to learn, is what they said. So that was a good. And then the last thing, with a feel good, I went to the board president roundtable. Oh boy, we're doing good things here. Our board. Oh man, I don't really have anything to say. I mean, I didn't know what to expect, and I obviously never been there, but I came away feeling really good that we have a lot of good things. It's not just the 7-Up, it's everybody, and the support that we do, and most notably, we don't micromanage. And that's what I heard a lot of. It was like, ooh. So that's mine. Jermaine?
Oh yeah. So I think one of the most impressive presentations that I went to was there was one. It was a K-8 system that partnered with their local high school and with NIU. Because they're close by. I think they're in St. Charles or DeKalb, or I think they're in DeKalb. And so they start life and workforce readiness in like 4th grade. And they started talking to kids about just their interests and kind of like what kind of jobs are out there, and like as they progress, like 5th grade, 6th grade, and kind of like in more age appropriate. And they're partnering with different corporations and kind of to get the kids to go do. And so there was one of the things that I thought like, well, how do we do that, right? How do we get, how do we put that carrot out there for the kids to say like, hey, look, it's not just about, doing homework, right? It's about learning how to learn and, and growing in your professional career and thinking about your life past school. And I thought they did a really good job. So I wanted to, potentially have some conversations around that. So, yeah.
Did anybody go to any funding conversations? Like funding is a big topic right now for all districts. I attended a roundtable for funding and on Friday, and it was really interesting to see what districts or counties, I should say, not districts, counties are doing to get more revenue into districts because the federal government funding is going to be uncertain for the next school year, right? So right now they're trying to figure out what federal legislation does, even though a small percentage comes from the federal government to the state. But then there are certain programs that are tied to federal funding that could be impacted, And for example, Title I, it's a big topic of conversation right now about a lot of funds being cut for that. So it was interesting to see. And Mike Gardner, the Lake County Soup, was there, and he had some good insights to offer, in that conversation, because I think Lake County is doing a lot of good things happening in the area as far as the focus and the work that the communities surrounding Lake County are doing to not only be good stewards of the money, but also get programs in that bring more money that support what we're already doing, if that makes any sense. So, but that's a big topic, anytime you can engage in funding conversations, I encourage you to do that because there's a lot of uncertainty right now, and we'll see what happens, right? So we're supposed to know more once the year 2026 starts, they're supposed to have a budget for that. Then the second big takeaway for me was strategic planning. I attended a session on that, and it was really about a year from now, we have to be engaging in a strategic planning process with our community again. Mm-hmm. The 5-year plan is about to expire in 2027, at the end of 2027. So next year will be the year to start planning ahead and getting the process together. So I attended a session that talked about that and the different options that districts have in approaching the strategic planning process, so you don't deviate from the work that you're doing, and really take advantage of the strengths and look at opportunities for what to focus on next. So it was good. Yeah, it was good.
And I'm glad we had a great time. I mean, it was it was good to see you guys in a different, sitting behind the microphone at the table. We had a lot of laughs, a lot of good times.
Yeah.
No helicopter. We were denied the helicopter once again, and the parade. We weren't in the parade, but We had other fun adventures during that
Yes.
weekend, but I'm really glad you guys joined us and be all for it if you want to do it again next year.
It's fun. That's good. That's good.
Just bring your
Anything
towel.
else? Any? No? Okay. All right. So up next we have professional leaves. As you can see, we have some people going to different conferences and professional learning over the next couple of months. So we have those requests on today. Any questions about those? No. We had one moving on to Freedom of Information Act requesting existing records for all active employees for the entire district with full name, title, position, work email, and work location. So we provided that. Moving on to old business. We have the second reading for the October 2025 Press Plus issue 120. Again, last month I mentioned that there are no major changes to any policies. A lot of the changes are really footnotes, legal references, and such to existing policies. So there's no really action on that. So unless anybody would like to discuss any policy on there, then we'll need a motion.
Anybody have any questions? All right, then I need a motion.
I'll make it. I move that the Board of Education adopt the attached policies as presented by the administration.
Second.
Aye.
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 Great. All right, and then the second reading for board policy monitoring, the two policies, you see them right there. Again, no changes are recommended to those policies. Are there any questions on those?
All right, no question, I need a motion.
Yep.
I move that the Board of Education approve any recommended changes to board policies under review and to adopt those policies as presented by the administration.
Second, roll call.
Aye.
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 Okay, and moving on to the 2026-2027 calendar. This is the first reading or first review for the board. There is no action necessary today, but we have been working with Warren and Woodland on our syncing our calendars as much as we can for the community to better serve, our families throughout Gurnee. And some of the highlights that the calendar has, first day of student attendance is August 19th. It's a little bit earlier than usual, but next year the calendar will change, so most likely it will be the week after or the last week in August. But we're also ending a little bit earlier than usual, so if all goes well on that school year, we'll be ending on Friday, May 28th of 2027. So there's that. We have end of trimesters, winter and spring breaks that align with Warren and Woodland both. That really benefits us as a district because we do share staff, parents, students, and other things that really help a lot with us having those breaks aligned. Again, what we have, what we're recommending on the calendar is, the late start Wednesdays, except for August 19th on the first day of student attendance. Sometimes what we have to do with the high school, for example, today was not a late start Wednesday, is that we kind of trade off days based on their final schedule. So, last year, for example, we did have a late start Wednesday in December, but we did not have one in the spring, because we said, okay, what can we do to offset, the finals week schedule? So they modified this schedule last year. And this year is like, okay, it's my turn to take one on, and that's why we didn't have a late start. Once we talk to Warren about their final schedule, then we'll make a change based on that. But there's nothing right now. So, but that is the proposal right now. Are there any questions?
I think this lines up more closely. First day and last day is closer to Warren's as well, if we choose to keep it that way next year. If the families that have both high school and elementary middle. This is a closer lineup. This is the closest lineup I've seen in a while. So great job to all the people who worked on the committee for it for first and last day.
Great. We are keeping the same format for conferences. We are gonna try something new in February of 2027. We're having conferences backed up to an institute day and a long weekend. So hopefully that improves on attendance as well on that week. And then parents have options to do conferences virtual or in person, whatever they choose to do. But we'll see. I mean, we're trying different things every year and see how that works.
How was the turnout for this year, first semester?
The fall is always great, you know, and I'm looking at the principals now, but you know, the fall is always like really good turnout, you know, and they make accommodations for parents in all ways, but parents are really interested not only to a lot of them is their opportunity to meet their classroom teacher if they're at the elementary level, and then middle school they have new teachers every year for every class, so they take that opportunity to engage them. There's the spring that sometimes it's a little bit, you know, different because sometimes we do target more students or students who have been struggling a little bit more in that round, but still we've had a pretty good turnout.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
I think the times we have to play around a little bit with the times. Right now we've offered, you know, 10 o'clock to 1 in the morning, early afternoon, and then 2 o'clock to 6 p.m. are the times. So we're trying to accommodate. It's just a little bit difficult to cover a lot of ground. So we have to do something different with the calendar in order for us to offer multiple days, and then that ends up eating or impacting other things. So, but no action necessary. Again, you know, if you see anything next month, we will, you know, or the board will vote on it, and we'll go from there. All right.
I saw the 4th of July is highlighted, but it's on a Saturday. Do you guys still do like a day off for staff and stuff like that? Okay, it's like a floating
It's
holiday.
either the 3rd,
right?
yes.
30. Okay.
We'll close the office on the 3rd, most likely.
Okay.
Yes. Definitely. All right. Okay. No questions, then I'm gonna turn it over to Mr. Esteban.
Yeah. So we've been working with CISO, our communications company, to help with better communication within the district. And now the next phase, I believe, is updating our websites. So Dr. Crea and Mr. Helfers had a conversation about updating the website, and they gave us this proposal, which is 100 hours to go through the district office and all the school websites and refresh it and to make sure everything is current, up to date, and working. So, and I believe the total cost for this update was $16,000. So I can answer if there's any other questions, or did I leave everything out?
Well, and it's a big part of that conversation has been results of the communication assessment survey that we had. So then the ease of navigation for the website is really what we're looking to refresh. As you can see now, even if you visit the website now, instead of having pictures of the schools, we have pictures of kids doing something, right? Which makes a big difference. Navigation has become a little bit better on it. But the hours that we have for communications are separate from the redesign or the refresh for the website. So in order for us to improve the entire website and the school's websites, we need to engage in this process with them, which requires, you know, more work. So then, but yeah, we're expecting the work, you know, if the board approves it, to start happening as soon as possible, and they're going to give us a better it's going to give us a better idea of the use, and they can also track clicks, metrics, all those things, you know, for us to see what's working and what's not, with the make it user friendly for it. So,
Any questions for Eric? No questions. I need a motion.
I'll do it. Move the Board of Education approve the proposal for website refresh as recommended by the administration.
Second.
Roll call.
Aye.
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 Becky, aye.
Public comment, I don't see anybody here, so Becky, can you do it? Do you have it in front of you?
I move the Board of Education adjourn an open session and reconvene in closed session to discuss pursuant to 5 ILCS 122C1 personnel, 9 student discipline, 10 student information, 11 potential litigation, 21 discussion of minutes.
Second, roll call?
Aye.
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 Aye. Happy holidays to all of us.
All right. Thank you. All right.
Does Becky know that by? Does she know that by heart?
She's got to.
She's got to know. She's got to know by heart. She's got to know by heart.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
I had to wait till the mic.
I was gonna give you this back.
I had
Now
to
I
wait
need
till the
it.
microphone's off.
Okay.
All right, so first item
Personnel?
is personnel report. Need a motion to approve.
I'll make the motion. I move that the Board of Education approve the personnel recommendations as presented by the superintendent.
Second.
Roll call.
Aye.
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 We got the approval of the collective bargaining agreement with the support staff.
I'll make it. I move that the Board of Education approve the motion to approve the collective bargaining agreement between the Board of Education and the Gurney 56 Support Staff Council for the time period through June 30th, 2029. And
Second.
motion to approve the non-precedent agreement with the Gurney 56 Support Staff Council regarding the annualized payroll schedule.
Second.
Roll call.
Aye.
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 Closed session minutes.
I
I'll do.
move
Oh, go ahead.
that the Board of Education approve the closed session minutes for November 19th, 2025 as presented.
Second. Roll call.
Aye.
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 And adjournment.
I move that the Board of
I
Education
move the Board of
adjourn the...
Education adjourn the December 17th, 2025 meeting of the Board of Education.
Second.
Roll call.
Aye.
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 Did you want to say anything about approving
All right.
evaluation?
Thanks,
Oh,
Becky.
wait.
Happy holidays.
Oh.
Oh, it's
The
okay. It's
schedule.
fine.
You can
It's
do it.
fine. You can do it like you can send.
I'll send an email.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
I will
I
be
didn't
sending
remind
you.
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna send you an email.